Hello. 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 Every Rush song.
Hello, Rush fan. Welcome to
Hi.
the really good show.
I'm sorry to.
Really good show.
Did I throw you off there?
Rush song.
No.
Every
I'm wondering
Rush.
when the number one Rush podcast recorded in Tim's backyard will get old, because I've used it like 8 times now. How many times will it take it to get old?
I'm gonna go with 6.
6? Ooh, oh no, I'm a little late. I should have asked.
I was going to go with 7.
Oh,
Uh,
you know what? I'm going to price this right, both of you. I'm going with 2.
Ooh, and the number is
18.
18. Well, we've analyzed a few songs for you, but we have a controversy amongst the 3 of us, and we have to settle this
like men.
like
What
reasonable facsimile thereof.
Yeah.
Should we cover every Rush song from the first album, Sans Neil? I guess it should use the French. Oh, that is the French. Sans Neil Peart. And some people have some opinions. And other people have other opinions, and I guess some of us just have opinions.
I had some opinions last year, but I sold them
Yeah.
for some whiskey.
Isn't that a kind of wood? Like you burn opinion?
Yeah. Like
That's
the
a
little
pine.
incense things
Oh.
you get in Colorado. They look like a little adobe with a little cone,
Pine
Maybe.
cones?
and they make your house all smoky.
Incense?
Honeycomb.
Yes,
Mar-
I am
mar-
incensed.
Marijuana?
Ooh.
Marijuana cigarettes.
Ooh.
Oh.
Dig it.
Caressive Steagles. Speaking of pot, I like showing off the one album that I own.
Nice. I like it. You
I
almost-
thought. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah. What?
Fine.
I like our method of just going around the horn, the 3-sided horn. And Tim, you're the
Yes.
enchanter. You're in the 11 o'clock section there on the screen. Why don't you tell us why you think we should, or why we should not cover John Rutsey's "Ladies and Gentlemen, This Is Rush"?
Well, number one,
I think we
Then-
should, though, Tim.
the name of the album is called Rush. It features the band called Rush. The only issue is Neil's not in the band. However, they recorded the album, got signed to go on a little tour of North America, and John didn't want to do it. And so he left the band, and so Neil did the tour. So if you do the tour, then
I'm sorry,
That-
the tour?
the
The
tour,
tour?
he did the
The
tour.
Raccoon Tour?
So, and when you're talking about an album that's got one of their most stapled songs ever, you got to cover the album.
Are we
Hmm.
talking about Working Man?
We are
or-
talking about Working Man.
Okay. Is there a logo used? Starman aside, is there a logo used more commonly than the one from the first album?
I love that logo, by the way. That's the greatest. Yeah.
Well, it actually got better when they changed the U to an A for Rash. Yeah.
I still wish I could find that
Hard to
shirt.
find that shirt. Just ask Getty. Borrow his.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear. That of Emulsion, eh?
Well, Molson's gone. I'm going to have to switch to, in keeping with the season,
Oh, Shayner.
Shiner bought
Ah.
Holiday Cheer because
Wow.
nothing says cheer like holiday cheer.
Jay?
Yeah,
You
forgot.
can open that with your
Forgot that.
impressive. Jay,
There we go.
do you have a
Nothing-
reason why we should or should not cover that album entitled by the name of Called Rush?
Well, early on, my reasoning was
Wrong.
Oh, we have dissension from the audience in the dark.
Because Neil was not a part of the band yet when they recorded the album, that we shouldn't do it. We shouldn't cover it.
Is it even Rush then? I mean, if it's no Neil, is it even Rush?
Well, that's the thing. It's Rush evolves throughout the years. So part of that evolution, so to speak, would be evolving from the first album that didn't have Neil Peart to the second album where he joins the band. And as Tim pointed out, which I didn't know, he toured the album. So I'm going to call an audible on myself, and I'm going to say we should include the first album.
Yay! Yay!
Wow.
Yay!
This episode just got really boring. We're supposed to disagree. We're supposed to argue. Let's call each other names. Insult each other's mothers.
I'm going to audible back out of my audible.
Oh, man. Got Peyton Manning up there in the dark.
Here's a good question. Because it is a studio album. It's not a live album. Do we include the album that they did? That were all the covers album that they did. What was that called, Tim? Trey? Tom? Sawyer? Sigmund?
Yes, it was called
Freud?
Tim, Trey, Tom Sawyer, Sigmund Freud.
Feedback.
Yeah. I mean, that's a studio album, but it's all covers. Do we include that?
Why not?
I think so.
Because we can talk about their take. I mean, they said they wanted to do something on covering the songs that they used to jam to and play, when they were doing the bars and, the bar circuit and stuff in Toronto.
Yeah.
That was the music that made them want to become, rock stars.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem eventually talking about that.
So you want to do it first?
I don't remember saying that.
Is that what you didn't say?
It's kind of funny. I didn't like a lot of the songs on that album. I know that the songs that they like, but they're not some of my favorite songs.
Oh my goodness. How can you say that? And I had never heard, and maybe I did, listening to, the oldie station and just never thought about it. I'd never heard the song Heart Full of Soul. And I love that song.
Yeah. I'll go back and listen. Now, I did like The Seeker because that's a great Who song.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And see, I'm not a fan of The Who, but I love that song.
They did a great job on that.
Yeah. Their cover of Crossroads. Is really good. I love it.
Summertime Blues. It's pretty good.
But see, that's the song that I'm like,
Did they really play that in those bars back in the day? Summertime Blues?
They might have.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed that they didn't do any Led Zeppelin covers.
And not a single Rush cover.
Or a Triumph. They didn't play any Triumph songs.
Right.
But didn't they do?
Why didn't they do One of These Days I'm going to Cut You Into Little Tiny Pieces by Pink Floyd?
Yeah.
Because they were into Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do their version of Roundabout by Yes?
Oh, that would have been great.
Because they were Yes fans. So.
Very good questions, but also not really.
So, Shayne, what is your opinion on whether or not we should record? We should include the first Rush album.
I have always loved the first album. It's always been one of my favorites. Oh my goodness, I tried so hard. I studied. I just pulled up the track list on my laptop here. It's about to die. Nope, it's good. It's got kind of bluesy numbers, and I'm think for some white dudes from Canada, they did some pretty good job of playing the blues. I love a lot of the solos. The recording, I think, is cool because you can hear, I mean, it's kind of a cheaper recording that they knocked out in a few days, and you can hear a lot of the mistakes that they left in it because it would have been too expensive to go back and fix them. Or maybe they just thought, hey, that sounds cool, let's leave it. There's a lot. The album has a lot of character because it's pretty sloppy, and that's not something that they did. I mean, they're always really clean and tight and precise.
Well, and that
always after.
And that could have been because of the drummer, which, look, John Rutsey was a good drummer. He wasn't a great drummer, but it's amazing how much tighter they are just a few months later when they do Fly By Night with Neil. I mean, it's
like a different band.
Right.
Yeah. Just going back to Neil and his drumming, the tribute concerts that they did for Taylor Hawkins.
Yes. Yeah.
Where Alex and Geddy were there. And they did they had the Rush set. And I know you guys have all watched them. I was like, the guys that, played the drums on there and set in on the drum part and on the songs, they did great. But it
still wasn't Neil.
No, and it wasn't tight like it, it wasn't.
Right, exactly.
You can't get that. They're not going to, that's something that's never going to happen again. It just reminded me of that.
Well, until they call me.
Until they call you. Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
I think that Geddy and Alex playing with Dave Grohl would be the second coolest thing in the world.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Playing with Tim would be the first coolest in the world. Because then they might let the Durango brothers open up.
That would be the most eclectic Rush concert ever.
Which would be the 1.5 coolest thing in the world.
But see, here you go. Okay. Durango Brothers open up for Rush. And then on the last night of that tour, instead of closing it down with Working Man or YYZ, Geddy goes to the mic and says, you know what? We want to bring the Durango Brothers back out. And you close the night out with F-U-C-K.
Yes. Could you imagine doing F-U-C-K though with Rush as the backing band? Just kind of kick it up a notch.
With Tim on drums, Geddy on bass. Did we ever, when we were playing together, did you play that song ever with us, Tim? Did we ever do that?
You probably did.
I think so. I think I was banging those bongos.
All right.
Beating a tambourine.
Well, crap. I guess it's unanimous then that we would cover the first album. So now I guess it's just a matter of when, and we'll cross that bridge when we find it, unless there's no one at the bridge.
Ooh. What if we burn the bridge when we find it? Taking you away in the world today.
Well, okay. All right. So let's branch out because I'm cool with covering feedback too. What about my favorite?
No, there was only one feedback. They did not do feedback 2. They thought about it. That was going to be their all Duran Duran cover out.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
That would.
I would have loved to see Rush do all Pink Floyd covers.
I would like to see them do New Religion.
No, what I would have liked to have seen, since when did Rush started touring with Kiss? Maybe a Fly By Night and Caress of Steel.
Yeah,
they were touring with Kiss, but before they did the R40, if you would have had Rush and Kiss together, but Rush plays Kiss songs and Kiss plays Rush songs.
Oh, that would be disastrous.
And then at the very end, both bands get out and they play F-U-C-K.
Yes. I'm in.
Can you imagine Geddy Lee singing? You've got something about you. You've got something.
You think he could pull off Beth?
I think they could. I don't think Kiss could play the Rush songs though.
I don't think Kiss could. No, not at all.
No. They probably would have said, all right, we're going to own up. We can't play anything from Fly By Night to Clockwork Angels, but we're going to cover the hell out of the first album.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
They could probably pull that off, yeah.
And then Paul starts with and then Gene goes up,
oh yeah.
Actually, that'd be pretty awesome.
We get your
Yeah, I think they could do that.
But see, if Rush was doing that, they would do.
If only. Okay, well, I guess it's settled then. Now, so what I'll do eventually, because I know that first, if we haven't already started it, we were going to do Power Windows first. I'm going to try to do some polls on probably Twitter, because they have polls. And I guess Facebook has polls too. So join the Facebook group. Every Rush song. Find us
Are
on
they
Twitter.
north or south?
Every Rush song. Every north or south. What?
Poles.
Good question.
Because, the South Poles are a little bit angrier than the North Poles.
Yeah.
That was an elf reference. Nobody got it.
You're an angry elf. And there's a part of me that wants to go first album and then all the way through Clockwork Angels. But there's a big part of me that wants to do Clockwork Angels early, because I'd like to read the novel and then do Clockwork Angels again after reading
Shayne,
the novel.
that's where you screw up everything, because you always want to read. Print is dead.
I'll do the audiobook narrated by Canada's own Neil Peart.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
he did the narration. So
why didn't he do the narration to his own book?
Because he was bored.
I bet that would have been hard. Never mind.
Yeah, it is hard to do, and he probably did not have the patience.
Yeah.
And then you have to listen to yourself a lot, and I doubt he would ever do that.
It'd be like, that's a good point. How insensitive of me to even bring that up.
Yes. But watch for polls, and so you can help us decide
North and South.
The North and South poles,
Or
East poles, West poles, poll answers. No.
Southeast poles.
Flag poles.
Yeah.
Totem poles.
Totem.
Which is from Test for Echo.
Test for Echo.
Thank you.
Yeah, terrible.
Thank you.
Terrible.
Terrible album.
Oh, sorry. You know what? Tim, end it before we get in a fight. He's not going to do it.
Thank you very kindly.
It's kind of a jump scare.
Fly away, fly away.